Well, Naomi, you are tearing into Luke, and I would like to continue you doing that with the rest of them, because that was fun.
Well, she needs to be impressed, right?
Yeah, I'll just because it's the new episode. We're still in the greenhouse, and well, the Anox are trying to impress the Primogen, or at least maneuver some kind of information out of her. But while it might seem chaotic to those not adept at that kind of conversation, it is very deliberate that you're being pushed in a lot of different directions with conversation. Maybe to deflect, or maybe just to test you. And I will leave you at the scene again to you guys with just my occasional comments. Feel free to take the next person on the list, Naomi.
Sweet, Dave. She. I was trying to remember the notes that I had on her.
He's nice.
Not a typical Malkavian, it seems. Not any quite unique.
They're typical.
There is, at least the ones I've seen.
All helpful, I hope.
So, are you the definition of handsome and crazy?
Crazy isn't just attached to one bloodline, and one man's crazy is just another man's focused. Leo has spent most of his recent nights with a sewing machine. Some people call that crazy, but look at what he can do. Look at how amazing he looks and how amazing he makes the rest of us look. That's not crazy.
Oh, he's very well fitted. I was definitely very thankful for that, actually. He can definitely wear his talents, all puns intended. How about, who's your company? Tell me the tea.
My company?
I know you have your coterie, but
Should we hear our back?
I don't know if you're well acquainted, but I'm interested to know the company that you bring or like to hang around from time to time.
Various people here and there. If people need help, I'm more than happy to oblige. There's Cassandra. I've spent a couple of evenings with her recently. She's always quite interesting. Alistair, when he's free, or Samir and some of the other chaps that sort of do the environmental thing. Mr. Smith as well. He's very nice.
I agree. Interesting. I've heard you're part of the Masons Guild, or what's that about?
So I'm not too sure really. Cassandra was just very, very nice. It would have been rude to refuse. So we've met up a few times. And it's just a place to meet like-minded people.
I'm getting a sense that you're not the only one around Nemesis from time to time.
No. I know we keep getting told not to say Nemesis's name because Nemesis can hear every time we say Nemesis. But she just seems to help. This Victor, when he was originally on the scene, was quite. I'm going to go so far as to say rude. He called people out and forced people to do things. I know the sort of Camarilla thing and all the rest of it, but manners would really, really sort of polish some of the rough edges he has. But I'm sure Nemesis, otherwise, she's always been helpful to us, so she probably has quite a few friends. Didn't she meet us on the way into London? It was to stop us from bumping into Antigen. Was it Nemesis?
She did.
Yeah,
she did. She was there, very pleasant, welcomed us to London in a way that nobody else did. And just a real all-around stand-up person.
That sewer trip was not a welcome.
Okay, no. Fair. We've been in the sewers way too many times. I don't think it's fair to put that on her shoulders. I feel like, that was due to other extenuating circumstances. For example, that Victor has created for us and things like that. So yeah, you're right, Leo. I'm right there with you about the whole sewers and well, he's just going to stop because he realizes if he keeps going, he's going to start talking about like the bathtub and Mr. Smith. So yeah, he's just going to shut up.
Was there anyone in particular you were hoping to know about? Any of her acquaintances?
Oh, I just felt like bringing us some information just to know how, like, English culture is very much, it's something that's a bit strange to me, as you know, or may know. Not exactly, it's very strange for someone to obviously eager to help. So, and you haven't exactly seen the fruit of her labor. So, it's an interesting company you guys keep.
You yourself said this is all sort of kindred business, and you don't need anything. You're quite secure and comfortable here, and you look forward, and you don't look forward into the next week, the next decade. You go for centuries into the future. It's always good to know your neighbors, and sometimes if you can help them out, and you obviously don't need to, but we sometimes need to sort of score a few points here and there, just so if something happens later down on the road, it could help. But it doesn't hurt helping people without getting something in return. Unless, well, I can't speak for the rest of the pack, but I'm more than happy to do things without return.
Well, as you said, this is an excellent virtue, but I can tell you, depending on which domain and who I can send a message to, there isn't a person that doesn't know where you are at the sewers, doesn't matter what level.
No, we expect it.
Exactly. She looks around. Marie. I'll get back to you. Sorry, say that again.
Damn, she noticed me.
Okay, anyways. Focus. I'll get back to you on this relic. Let this be our little secret. I'll send you descriptions. I may have a picture or two. You feel like a good person. That's all I'm gonna say. You give me, you know what's up. Emery.
She kind of wakes up, I think, from her trance.
Hello. Hi. Hello.
I thought you could have been the Malkavian at this point. Where's your posse? Where's your what do you call them? Which is pets?
Swordsmanship one and the archery one.
Hello? My what?
Familiars?
Familiars, that's the word. Where's your familiars? She looks around on the ground. Pigeons tend to be a little dusty.
Now that she says it, it's only Chip that's here, which is strange. You're usually followed by an army, and you would expect at least 100 on the greenhouse by now, but there's none here.
What follows in and what was dragged out depends on where you are. So I guess it depends on who you're interacting with on any given day.
I'll be honest, I was looking forward to you the most because pigeons make some of the best fertilizer for my garden. So I was actually most happy to see you. Granted, interesting the footsteps you've carried through some of the domains that I can trail back for a while. Pigeons from time to time may not be there from time to time, but I ask what carries you to some of this territory you seem to be quite fond of, which I'm trying to be cautionate about.
You mean this area right here specifically, or in general to where I've been in the past? I mean, it's like the wind. Sometimes we blow in, sometimes we blow out, but there seems to be some shared goals and agendas amongst individuals. I don't know what each night will bring, but it seems that where some of us have gotten to some fun, entertaining situations, we've all been able to get out through a little bit of teamwork. And I think that me being there has been one of those things that has lent itself to the group as a whole. Either information ahead of time or strategy for after.
I'm quite interested in what's actually in your heart, who you follow, who you align with.
Oh, I align with leadership and guidance, whoever that is.
So you're really after Nemesis' heart, aren't you?
You know, she has really made a name for herself here for a variety of reasons, both with my cohort and beyond. It seems that could be said for a lot of people.
Well, looking into any of humans' history, I dearly mourn any daggers to your heart in the case of whatever may happen that comes from Marie's hands. That could come from Marie's hands.
I highly doubt that will be my move of choice.
Oh, don't worry, it might not happen for a while if it happens at all, but it all depends on your decisions today. That might collectively lead into that direction.
I don't want to fight her.
It's just so sweet.
No, Mary wants to fight. But may destiny take its path. Leo. My dear Toreador that loves to sow at his own dawn of ours. You are quite fitted quite well. You're very aware of your measurements.
Thank you.
Does Regina treat you well? I hope she does. I know she's not a fan of everyone.
I mean, yeah, after the Inquisition came with guns and grenades, now I have a place that I can stay where I don't have to blow up.
Yes. Who's your sire again? You're Toreador. I'll know.
Fighting name on sheet.
Yeah, actually.
Literally. Helena Sutton.
Sorry? Oh, yeah? Okay. I'll have to keep that in mind. So, Regina doesn't exactly tell me everything, but I know people who are above her, so it's okay. Like myself.
Interesting, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is any speaking from a Toreador, is there anything else you specifically need? I know you came here today, all this way.
I mean, Victor was planning on burning down all my things, so I'd rather not them burn.
Oh, he is quite vindictive. Well, this makes things a little tricky. Quilts.
Oliver.
I'm gonna go. Sorry?
No, it's just his beast. Oliver.
Oh, okay. I was gonna go Oliver and then Luke.
Yeah.
So because I know Luke has to be last. He does the most talking.
Okay. You know, this is not really your thing, right? You're shit at lying. And if she says the right thing, everyone's gonna know. So if you need my help, you just tell me. I'm here. I'm here for you, mate. Just tell me when. And the beast goes quiet.
He's running his tongue through his like shark teeth in his mouth quietly, like, looking at like these tulips sitting there on like the shelf. This is the gridded It's completely just like like taut like a bowstring, just like, you know. Anyway.
Please continue, Naomi. Sorry, I just I feel
No,
like
that's good.
I had to poke at him.
No, that was good. That was good. So Naomi kind of catches a glimpse of what it seems to be not exactly natural, a little bit shine, if you will. Not exactly just something she's kind of kept in the back of her head ever since they arrived. She kind of approaches Oliver a little bit, very gently, very gingerly, and kind of just stares at his mouth and kind of asks him, if you will.
So when she approached, he was actually making his way towards the door, and then she catches him before he's, and then he turns around, and you ask him to show his mouth. Is that what you asked?
A little bit, yeah.
Why do you want to see that?
As you were talking, she got enough information and is like, okay, something I might have to actually talk to Victor about. That's odd. And shakes it off more or less. What is it your need to not be of us? Why so alone? Why so of yourself?
And you seem
Yeah.
pretty uncomfortable. Like, and he's like, it's and he's looking awkwardly at everyone else there. I imagine the whole
He's a
pack is
shy
like looking at
guy.
him.
He's a
And
shy
like-
guy. Tends to happen.
You see a bit of that old awkwardness from earlier in the Chronicle come out, and he's like, well, it's always sort of been that way, I suppose.
So I know she could probably get this information, but
Oh, you know where he sleeps at night. Or day, rather.
okay, good. Because
A comfy bed in the prince's house.
yes. Why the prince? Why do you accompany someone who can be such of the extreme? And chess? Like, I wouldn't even think that would be your thing. Oliver?
Well, what was the last part? Sorry, out of character. What was it?
The prince does, yeah, he's the prince, right? Hold on. Yeah, the prince, that's all he does is chess, and that's not your thing. Why would you want to be with him? Why'd you want to hang out with him?
Just say when, mate. They're all looking at you.
He's like sitting there like.
Oliver, it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry. She seems to be. Sorry, Oliver doesn't normally do well in sort of when he's put on the spot. I don't want to say anything, Oliver. It's just I've noticed. So, but do you have any other questions at all? It just isn't really fair.
Really fair
think
to ask Oliver?
Well, just to put him on the spot. You can see he's squirming.
I think she's fucking with us. We have what we need. Let's get out of here.
I mean,
And he's gonna walk out. He's gonna walk out right now.
You don't have anything though.
The door
sorry.
is...
I'm sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
The door is blocked by very big vines that seems to come out of the ground from nowhere.
Can some of the vines, wherever his aura is, can it just like hover right around, just outside of his aura?
Very much so, yes.
Perfect. Well, I'll let you know what I know about the prince. I knew of him. He was one of the greatest colleagues I ever had. He too has a great heart for religion. And because I have to attend the court from time to time, as much as I dread it, he's a god of his own house. He is competent, yet arrogant. He plays chess with the Nosferatu Victor and is grooming him, and it shows. He is ever scheming. He does not make a move unless he knows his thought out. He has thought out everything. I respect him, but I want little to do with him personally, with his schemes as much as possible. If you're anything of him, or anything that is meant to do with being any sort of companionship, that worries me a bit. Do you understand why? Oliver.
Storyteller. Has Oliver actually ever met Prince Alex?
Never.
And he just looks at her and he says, like, I've never met the bastard. I have no idea what you're talking about. And it's the truth, technically.
He is not lying.
Yeah. So it's weird enough. As much as she has not seen the prince for the amount of time I think anyone has, outside of two other individuals, obviously Victor and the Nosferatu. She's just kind of associating some of his traits to Oliver, because why would you hang around anyone who is of greatness? So she kind of connects the two and knows that he might have connections with Victor. But she's perplexed, she's upset, she's frustrated, and that is the only time she's really kind of, a little bit of her vines associate with her emotions. They're a little bit vibrating, but she takes a moment to kind of mourn the situation.
In the quiet, the lights start to flicker, and it becomes dark for a moment. And when the dim light returns, Nemesis is standing there at as far away from Naomi as she can possibly get. The vines and everything in here that it has any kind of range attacks Nemesis, but they start to rot when they get it within a foot of her. And you kind of feel it in your heart, Naomi, there's something corrupt about her. And she just stares straight through the room and everyone else in your eye and says, "Hello, old friend. My name keeps coming up."
And at this moment, he can't hold back. Luke is just going to go, "See, that's how it feels." Like, when your home is invaded, that's fucking how it feels.
Naomi is like, what? Whatever. She looks around and then stares her right back in the eyes, holds the two blades in place from her hip, stares right back at her in the exact intensity and frustration and overwhelming emotion. She has flashes of Victor all through her head. Very emotional. You can almost tell she might even shed a tear at this moment. She's like, "That bitch branded me."
I'm going to activate Blood of Potency while slowly muttering, we can just leave and no one has to get hurt here.
Oh, we're not leaving, because we don't want anyone to go to the pretty little warlock and tell him what we're about to do, and we need her on our side. Naomi, please, I know we have not always been friends, but we have helped each other from time to time, and these are good friends of mine. They're very good friends, actually. We are tight, as the Americans say. We need help. We're not gonna kill him. We both know that can't be done, but we can put him in a hole. You've been in a hole before. I believe that's where you met my grandsire. I remember the darkness. A very specific hole we don't simply get out of.
Victor's the one that got me out of the hole.
Yeah, but he's not gonna get out of there when he's in it. We just need a little thing to break that perfect Tremere perseverance and concentration. A little weakness, a little human, perhaps, that he's fond of, or something. I know there's probably a slim chance that he loves anything but you and Damien, but I'd rather not tangle with you and Damien. Humans are such easy prey compared to Camarilla.
Okay, I just want to go out of character for a hot second here. I did my illustration up to this point. This is gonna be free balling after this.
It's totally fine.
Okay, cool.
But you know who she's referring to, but Naomi is the
Absolutely.
only person on the planet that would know the name.
Absolutely.
So this is more or less if Naomi thinks it's a good idea or not.
So she holds the dagger as vigorously, and then instead of them pointing outwards, they're pointing back inwards, like closer to her body, like against her arm, over my dead body.
We need something. Are you gonna tell on us?
She looks around at her plants and reconsiders.
I didn't bring a lot of fire, but I can always come back or send someone during the day. I know a guy
When?
who's good with fire, and she looks at Dave.
Okay.
Come on,
I
Naomi.
love how Dave is just like, what?
You don't like him anymore. You know what he is. He's a monster. He treats Damien like shit. He's barely treating you like anything anymore. You just don't want me to have the sword. That's the only thing, right?
I've seen what you can do, and if this is how your infestation starts, is by just mentioning your name, I guess this is something I'll have to take up the Camarilla to ban.
I know when everyone talks about me. I guess we're
You've
not.
seen... Sorry?
Continue.
You've seen to insidiously infect and brainwash quite a bit of your friends, so-called friends, that are going to be nothing but a ploy to your own agenda. Is that really what you want?
I am not brainwashing anyone. I'm a businesswoman. I make deals. And I keep them. I sign them with my own blood.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Marie.
Go on.
I'm sensing hostility here. You don't have to be an amazing big brain person, but I don't want things to escalate because these two people seem to be really strong, and probably someone here is going down if stuff gets crazy. So I want to. So this may be a risk, but is it possible to slowly distinguish between one and another, trying to not get caught? Because I don't want this happening. How
You don't want to make them hungrier, do you?
You want to increase their hunger and hope they
You don't want to make
notice?
them hungrier. That would
I don't. No. I don't want. Blood is the funnel they have. It's the fuel. Without no fuel, you don't get into a fight, which is all not. But I want to sense the hostility first because I am not liking this.
Oh, it's. Well, they're not friends. That's for sure. Nemesis is covered in shadows, and Naomi is covered in plots at the moment, and they are staring daggers at each other. But it seems they're not. But they don't want to fight either, at least not deliberately.
All right, then
Not
I'm saving
quite.
that up. I prefer about saving that up.
Yeah, for a lot of Camarilla to even cut composure is pretty fucking rare. I think it's all the talks with Victor that kind of got her all wound up. Because she knows she wouldn't have lived if Victor didn't do what he did, and she'll always honor that regardless of what monster he ultimately turns into. That said, with Victor's life on the line, I think she had a bit of an intuition that the sword might even be in its own position because of what has happened in what has happened with Alex, because it's like two people running away asking for the Lauder's ring. Like, what are we doing here?
No, I mean, let me put it to you this way, Nemesis says.
Sure.
Just hear my plan, and you'll tell me if it makes sense.
Okay.
I need the sword. You know that. I need to open a certain door just for a moment. I'm not gonna leave it open. I need one specific person out. You know her. You've met her. You had the fortune to do so, and I might say honor even. I have yet to even stand before her. I only hear her in my mind. She is old and powerful, and we are gonna need someone very old and powerful if we ever want to, put Mithras back in the ground and burn Alex's Kairos' little house. None of us can do that. I can't stand in the sun. Mithras is the sun. And Alex Kairos is turning into some kind of, I don't know, primordial time god. We need someone older, and I'm talking 3rd generation vampire here.
The Nemesis is just adding balance to the equation here. That's all.
That's the only thing I want. I want to see my grandsire. Let's say that. Well, great. Many times. Grandsire. And put some people away. There should have been Ash a long time ago. So the young can prosper.
So the young can prosper.
Without princes and other kind of bullshit. I know you lose your fancy title and everything, but you can keep your house. You can call yourself a baron or a princess or whatever it is you want. I don't fucking care about these things.
Green shoots. Green shoots.
Have your garden and plants and Eden. But I don't want to be anyone's bitch, and I don't want anyone to rule over me.
The sword seems to rule over you, and your name's synonymous with the sword ever since I've known you. It's all you've ever wanted, Nemesis.
It's the key, and Alex Kairos should never have had it.
Yes, we see what it does to vampires.
It can kill anything in existence. But I'm not much of a fighter with swords anyway, but I needed to open the gate.
Here's one thing I can't seem to put my finger on, because I'm not any Sabbat trash.
I am Anak.
Are really these your horsemen?
These? No. Well, I offered them, but they don't want to join. They're Gabriel's people. But we're friends, we're all Anaks. Gabriel and I might have different philosophies, and he's a little less prone to violence than I am, but we both hate the Camarilla.
By the way, did he ever get his, just a quick question, and this is totally in character as well, did he ever get his brawl pit figured out?
Yeah, Fight Club Tuesday. Yeah.
Excellent. Then good for him. All right. Nemesis.
All we need is a name, and we're out here. Just, it's one little human. I know she's there, I just don't know who she is. I even know what she looks like, but London is a very big place.
I said, not over my dead body.
Well, you are dead, sweetheart.
Take me.
You want to be the bait? Because we can do that. If you come willingly, because none of us can catch you if you decide to run. I know that, you know that.
The question is you've asked yourself, do vampires have hearts?
I don't.
I know you don't.
Leo's just having these great reactions on the side because these people are just verbally abusing each other in a perfect manner.
I was really hoping that you were gonna help us, but if you can't help us, can you at least let them leave unscathed and keep your mouth shut? I would owe you one.
Do you want me to tell my plants?
No,
I
just
don't talk to anyone else.
just stay here and don't tell Victor
Don't tell him.
that we're coming
What,
for
that-
him. He's gonna be put in that hole with or without your help. We're just trying to make it easy.
Naomi, Primogen Townsend, you can be part of something bigger than yourself here. I mean, how often do you get a chance to get outside your house, right? You know, like this is it. You know, like you can actually move the needle, right? This is you don't have to just kind of be a nice garden keeper here. I mean, I realize that's great, and it's your hobby, and we all have them. But like, it's just
My plants are
Fine.
vibrating.
yes, yeah. I mean, see, they're all alive, and you've done a great job here. And he's just really like looking for plants that might have eaten pigeons in the last 5 minutes, like. And so yeah, he's just like, okay, look. You could of course stay here and not say anything and not do anything, be just as we found you. Like the court doesn't want you. You don't socialize with anarchs. I mean, who really knows? Or you could step out onto the stage and basically like change things here. Plant a new garden, like one that green shoots can rise up in, just like Nemesis said, like rebalance the scales, and everybody will know that you were part of that. Everybody will know your name, and it will be it's so much different than it is now. Like it'll change everything, and you'll have been a part of that, an essential part of that.
Look,
Or you can just keep everything the same.
ash makes for a really wonderful fertilizer. I will not lose my luck here. Please.
Come on. Okay, I really didn't want to do this. But I think me and my friends here are willing to do it. You'll give us that name. I'll give you James's head. We'll kill James for you.
I love how everybody's nodding. Like, yeah, okay.
Does everyone know who that character is?
Nope.
My
No idea.
my inner Vaughn is just like, oh shit.
Perfect.
We've got a large quantity of explosives near his main building ready, so just give us the go.
Well, nothing of my domain will get touched. You can't. Not one battle, one fingernail should ever fall onto my domain.
We're gonna keep it in Anarch territory.
But I haven't said anything that hasn't needed to be said. So there's unnecessary. If you ever want to get to him,
I just need the name.
I mentioned.
I know what she looks like. I just need. Oh, the things you can do with a name and a face. You should know. You have
Like
sulfur.
Luke is right next to Nemesis, just like backing up everything she says.
I'm in a corner of the room. Who is more?
Out of character, because Naomi is Humanity 7 and everything, so it's totally understandable.
Yeah.
Would she
Yeah.
say a final, like from her appearance and everything, it's just no, it's a hard no. I'm not gonna stoop to monstrous level.
Well, I the only thing is that the only one that could probably even talk some sense into Victor or whatever, anything would be herself, because that is the number one weakness. The other two is they're too vulnerable, they're too weak, for lack of a better word. And outside of killing her, you're probably going to end up with the other two anyways. So I'm going to put it as much into. So there is outside of her memories, which you can get Tremere to tap into her memories to see the name, because she wrote a bouquet for Alice, right, when she first saw her. So you have to do is tap into her memory, and she would have, like, a Tremere would have that information, right? Damien is the second one. I don't know. Am I supposed to be in character at this point or no?
No, it's
Okay, cool. And then, to my understanding, Victor's still lesser because before he did his Phoenix situation, that's why she's trying to ultimately protect him at all costs, because she doesn't really remember the last time she saw him other than him sacrificing himself for all of vampire humanity, basically. So that's the smartest thing that I can think of without seeing him specifically. I don't know.
It was fine. It's your character and you're staying true to it, and I respect it.
Yeah.
And
Good.
always say no to Nemesis. Guess you have. That is true to character.
Such a piece of shit in so many ways. And she says she's seen the whole, she's seen the other Primogen, but she doesn't like her, so.
Well, Nemesis nods because she can clearly see it on you. As she looks around at all of you and says, she's still too concerned about her petty emotions and torrid or passions to give up a name of a silly little human. So I guess we're done here.
She's actually gonna flip it and be like, wouldn't Oliver know? He's met Damien before, hasn't he?
We all met Damien. You can hear Damien from a mile away.
Okay, there you go.
But it's either you, Damien, or that woman. But I don't have the time to find her, so.
Alice. Thorgan Morton.
Do you say the name out loud?
That was out of character. But if it's in character, that's up to you.
No, that's up to you. But I'm just slowly closing the scene because we have 40 minutes left and I need to get these guys into the next session. But
actually, yes.
I need you to hang around for a second, though.
Okay. Weird. Cool.
What does it mean?
Okay, can I actually do this for my character? Sorry to take a hot second there. Can Naomi actually transfer the information to Oliver? Because Oliver is the only person she scanned over and can truly trust with this type of information, either through a bouquet or through a letter that would explode, or...
Oh, don't worry.
Oliver...
You're gonna have a conversation in about 10 minutes. And
okay, cool.
And Victor's gonna be there as well.
Okay.
What does that mean?
I guess the plans are removing the barricade so you guys can leave. And, Nemesis simply disappears, as she usually does, into the shadows. Do the rest of you have any final things before you're let out of the gardens?
Something, but it's more on the personal side of things, so maybe I will be the last.
Okay.
Unless no one else wants to talk.
Yeah, it's fine. They all
Luke
out. Sorry.
Luke is right behind Nemesis, but he's gonna look back and go, "You missed your moment." He's gonna turn around, walk out.
Everyone leaves, and I guess Marie hangs back.
As I walk out, I'm just gonna say it was lovely to meet you and your beautiful creations. Kind of like nervously looking at the plants that are like very obviously carnivorous, and they're just walking out as fast as possible.
She bows in a very, bows. I guess curtsies. What would she do? She would bow, and yes, this is of life. I'm worried of you walking into nothing but death again.
Marie?
I don't mind. It could be where they are living, or it could be just after they are living. I don't really mind. See, anyone wants to listen to it, it's fine. But they seem to talk that you are keeping yourself at a distance of everything.
In the most ironic way, Naomi obviously puts her daggers back. That's fine. Since the tension is gone, since Nemesis left, Naomi comes in quite intimately, as in to tell a secret, and kind of like, depending on the height, she either hunches down or kind of like just enough so they could listen to each other. Whatever the equivalent of Lucifer would be the equivalent of who you're dealing with. You're too good of a person to be here.
How did you keep yourself at bay?
Oh, beast? You mean?
Yes, decent.
You make amends on how evil the capacity of how evil everyone can be, and just accept that.
I seem kind of disappointed in a way for the answer, but I'm not. I would like that you type the first sentence, you don't mind, so that I can have it recorded just in case, though. If you don't mind.
Absolutely. Naomi would definitely write her a letter, specifically like a well-crafted drawing, saying, Marie, this letter can explode. Only you can open it, basically. She hands it to her and says, like more or less tucks it away however you would like to conceal it. Open this when you think the time is right and when you're ready. And it has like all the like as much information as the storyteller wants inside the letter, she gives that to her. And being like, this is something you should have on you.
Yeah.
All right, then I'm going to. Thank you. I'm going to. It's fine. It's easy to see. I seem nervous. Thank you, and thank you for the last tip as well. I'm going to need it, I think. And as I'm leaving, I'm going to take a peek at the plants. What do they eat?
Honestly, depends how big the plant is. So it really, is that what you mean, plant specifically?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh yeah. There's quite a few species. They're quite all gorgeous, honestly. Kind of like a lot of vampires. They can eat from small mammals all the way up to frogs to very tiny bugs. They all track through pheromones. I'm working on that now, but a lot of them track through sense or smell or how they look. Not that far away from vampires, honestly.
Good to know.
You can also see, Marie, they're clearly magical.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As you guys are leaving, I guess you catch up to the rest. You go back to the mystery van. It's coming to the end of the night, in game at least. I assume people want to have a moment to think and maybe talk to a few people. Maybe even alone. I need to have at least one scene that is very essential for the plot, and I'll come back to the rest of you to ask if there's anything you want to do before discussing what to do about a warlock and perhaps getting the Baron out of jail. That would be a good thing too. Since Naomi is our guest here, I'm gonna start with bringing her into the vault. It's later in the night, and Oliver, you were sitting at a table. You've been there before in the prince's basement, waiting for, well, your Darth Sidious, really. But it's not him that shows up, not first, but it's the Primogen that you saw earlier tonight that walks into the room. She knows that you're here. Naomi, you've been sent here because you've been summoned by the warlock.
He immediately stands up and he's like ready to fight because he's like, what the fuck is she doing here? Kind of like, what are you doing here? And he would just call out to her.
It's always the skittish ones.
And he's looking around and he's like listening in if there's any more with Auspex.
She kind of she goes through and like actually like she used to tidy his stuff, so she just kind of like goes through the stuff a little bit more to kind of like as if she already done it before.
You hear the heels from formal shoes coming down the hall, and a deep humming, and a red-suited man with a booming voice enters the room. Hello, dear friends! How are you tonight? It's Damien, the herald. Good to see you, good to see you. I assume Victor has summoned you as well. He's in a bit of a mood, I might warn you. Well, he's a bit moodier than usual. Have you two met?
Very unexpectedly, but given the world we live in, I guess not that unexpectedly.
And Oliver looks really harshly at Naomi. You ratted me out. You ratted me out in front of everyone, you know that.
You ratted yourself out. I could smell Victor from 5 miles away.
Yeah, but they couldn't.
No, I don't know. It depends how bright they are.
And he looks like dejected, and he's just thinking to himself like, maybe I shouldn't leave this place anymore. Like he's
My question is, why are you here? What's in your heart?
Power.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just Damien's comments, and while he's looking at his nails. Power.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Part of that, I've always wanted to master a craft, and it seems I have a talent for smithing, and I can't handle fire because of obvious reasons. So when some well-dressed bastard walks into a basement I'm staying in, and he flicks fire into his hands, he can play with it, forces you to write your name in a book. Well, that's the person I need to shack up with to learn. And I've learned quite a bit.
Pyromaniac, I see. Short from jumping into Gabriel's brawl arena, I would ask you to show me what you can do. But I think there's other agendas that are happening tonight.
Damien.
I don't brawl.
Sorry.
Go ahead, sorry. You were just gonna say something like, I don't brawl. I just hunt.
Damien's...
What else are you supposed to do with fire? You're supposed to cook.
He just doesn't look at her. He's that awkward as is setting in again.
Damien's foot starts tapping, and it's clear to at least Naomi, and perhaps you, Oliver, as well. You do have good senses. He's starting to look nervous, and he's staring at a wall. And this blood mirror starts to form on the wall and turns into the shape of a person. And Victor walks in, bright red eyes like flames, and looks at everyone, forces out a sigh and says, "My favorite people in one room. I believe you have information for me." And he flicks his fingers, and there's a flame where he looks at, kind of toying with it around his hand. It becomes a bit brighter, a bit larger, but then it stops, and it just becomes this orb around his head. And he's staring at everyone. He looks at you, Naomi, for a moment and says, "Good to see you, dear."
So you can tell she's a bit teary-eyed. It's one of the very few ways that she could cut her composure. Shaking quite a bit as she's even nervous because she never thought she was even going to be in this room ever again. She has a absolute horror and just in her voice on how much she feels like she's been betrayed. And you have so much explaining to do.
Why? I always do my duty. And only the prince is above me.
I had an embarrassing amount of time talking with anarchs to discover that one of the few people that I ever cared about became someone else when he transformed. And I just can't bear the thought.
We must all evolve, dear, otherwise we're just stuck in eternity. What did they learn?
Don't talk to me about growing. Don't you
Oliver looks
dare
like
do that.
shocked. Oliver looks shocked that she talked to him that way. Like looks at her across the table. Like
Dare you?
He turns an eye to Naomi for a second, and then he looks at you, Oliver. What did she tell them?
and he's gonna like straighten himself up and he's gonna like look at him, make eye contact, and look away because he sees like the blood red eyes, and he's like,
Even the anarchs. Sorry, go on.
She hinted that you had 3 weaknesses. One of them was a person. They want to use bait to draw you out.
Did she say the name?
She said Damien, right? Out of character? Like that's the name that she said? Or?
Yeah, Damien and herself, I think, but not the last one.
She said 2. Damien, and he looks over at Damien and herself.
Good. Damien, dear Naomi, you're staying here for the foreseeable future. You're not supposed to leave the Paradisa until I say so.
I have a job to do.
Take a vacation.
The one we were supposed to go on?
These people are dogs. You don't know what they'll do to you just to get to me. They have no decorum or manners. They don't understand what is at stake. They don't understand the prince's plan and what will come of it.
Sweetheart, everyone Oliver hangs out with has willingly wants to have a dagger to your back.
Everyone fears power. Especially anarchs. I bet it's that Tremere that filled them. Their hats with lies and everything. I never liked her. She seems too innocent. Nobody's that innocent.
Murray?
Yes, and the other one, Icy's even worse. But they're planning a trap. Let's plan the trap for them. And we'll kill them all at once. I am under the impression that the Baron has been imprisoned, so their biggest gun is indisposed of. I'll need to prepare some clothes for you so you can stand near me while I go full Phoenix. He smiles.
I thought the Primogen, or I thought the antigen had your remains.
No. They do have the Baron, though. And he smiles at that. Silly man. Oliver, you will meet with them. And you will come up with whatever lie that we develop to trap them.
They may not trust me anymore, though. Because of her. And he looks at Naomi pointedly. She said that in front of everyone that I stay here.
I was really hoping Murray would have been under our Victor, but it's the Hakata that had no interest in the rest of his clan. I was hoping that could have been a bonding moment.
You'll learn. But we do not need to involve JK in anything that we do not need to.
You mean Leo? Or actual JK?
Actual
okay.
JK.
Sorry.
Victor, they may not trust me anymore. If I try to tell them something, they'll want to know the truth.
It's hard to tell the truth with shark teeth.
If I need to, I'll have the prince remove the memories from your mind and you won't be able to remember. You can't lie about it. Don't worry, he'll put them back.
And he looks really unsure at that. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, and he's like, And he just says nothing and just kind of looks down at the table.
Damien is doing the same thing through the whole conversation. He just his head bowed and not saying a word because he sees the flame and he's not wearing the right clothes.
Speaking of that moment, Naomi looks to him and asks Victor if she could take the memories out of her.
Or what specifically?
Of him.
Of me?
Of Victor.
I'll leave that to the prince. He's upstairs. He is playing chess, so maybe be patient.
Okay.
But you do not leave this building, am I clear? I will summon you if you do, and you know what that means.
What am I worth to you if I don't ever remember you?
Well, as you put it, you're a weakness that I have. But a weakness I tend to keep around. I do still love you, even though I show it poorly. You see that it's it's a possessive thing from him. Because he is a humanity 4, it's not really showing.
Yeah. I'm sure by the way he talks, his mannerisms, being a vampire, your senses are heightened. So obviously she's kind of telling how different he is. So she looks to him and says, if that's what I am to you.
But you are. And he forces out a smile. Oliver, stay here. Damien, go get Alice now. And Naomi, you can go upstairs, talk to the prince, or keep Oliver company. I don't really care, but I am leaving. And he walks into his portal again. And that is where I'm gonna close the scene without spoiling too many things that become metagaming. I'll write things, Oliver, in the background, so there's at least something there.
Jesus Christ.
We have time left, fortunately, because I want to know what the rest will get up to at the end of the night and before the next dawn, or dusk, rather. And I want to thank you for coming, Naomi. It's been a pleasure, and it was fun to have you back.
I love the notes. Thank you. That literally helped me 99% of this. Other than that, I would have been an absolute mess. So this is more on you. Thank you.
Feel free to hang around if you want to.
Okay.
Or it's much easier for me if you do, with the editing.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Babysitting's great, so I'm good. Thank you, guys.
I'm gonna start with Emery. You have your book. You where are you going? Is what I want to know.
Oh, maybe to check in with someone about this information that's in here. Maybe anybody knows anything about this stuff.
Well, your best guess would be Harry Livingstone, the Vizier of Mithras. He's good with sorcery, at least.
Yep. She'd take it to them. She'd be like, I found a book.
Oh, he is where he usually is in the Mithraeum with, I think it's only Salvador, the giant gargoyle that's there with him. Emery, so good to see you.
It has been quite an interesting time since the last time our paths crossed, but this time comes with, and then she will provide the tome, a little bit of a book club entry.
Very nice. He recognizes what it is without even looking at it or opening it. Is it a gift for me or something you want to learn?
Column A, column B. I think it deserves to be in safe hands.
I have a safe place.
I don't know. As she opens it up, I don't know. Some of this seems pretty familiar to me, but some of it seems beyond my scope or things that I've come across both in my cohort or beyond.
It's shimishi skill. He looks at some of the drawings. Science is not really something I use myself, but I'm sure we have someone somewhere who can make sense of all of it. I'm sure you can. You have an inquisitive mind. I'm definitely able to find you a teacher for the right disciplines.
That would be delightful. Do you know, because this is new to me, do we know, like, how long this kind of stuff takes, or?
Well, some things are easy to learn and hard to master, but if we have all eternity. How much in a rush are we? Do you need to learn this by tomorrow, or do we have like a week? What are we talking here? I need to know what kind of boon I need to pull here.
I mean, I guess if there's I could, sooner is better rather than later. It seems that there's some, social engagements that some of my peers are looking to get into, some little gatherings, I guess. And some of the stuff might be interesting to have ahead of time. Be proactive with it. Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Do you know why the Enoch's asking us to free the Baron?
Would she know that?
No, she just knows that Isa says they're probably the only guys who can.
Yeah, she would relay that. Yeah, I have minimal information on that. I do have. I did maybe where the Sabbat are concerned. I might have created a backdoor into their computer system at their haven that might have some additional information. But I haven't checked the code, or I haven't really. I could find it. I could see if that would lend any information, but I haven't been told directly.
I see. Well, they're not wrong, but, well, I'll tell you now, but you're gonna hear it from Isa as well. We told them that we would free the Baron if they killed Victor, so I don't assume we'll see the Baron anytime soon.
Okay. All right. It seems like a lot of individuals have thoughts and feelings about different people, and it doesn't always align, but that's fine.
He's Tremere scum, and he's very powerful, so we need him gone.
Okay. He has a book as well that's different than this book, but it has some signatures, or had signatures in it that it's kind of strong-arming his way into things, which isn't very kind of him.
Yeah, he also stole an entire chantry that was not his. Actually, it's it's in England, so it's Mithras, and we would very much like it back.
Yeah, they are definitely an interesting family, and I think that there's a lot of things that people say or think about us being in the sewers underground, but it's significantly less scary than some of the abominations or ideas that I've heard that have come out of the chantry, or things that happen below their pyramid.
He nods. I'll get right on that.
Okay.
He leaves you with the brooding gargoyle Salvador. He's just kind of standing there and growling with his 3 meters tall and giant wings, red eyes, and priestly robes and a chainmail, which is the weirdest fucking part. And a broadsword. You don't know why he would ever need that, but he has it on him.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
Is there anything you want more from the scene, or is it learning vicissitude?
That.
Yeah. A teacher will come. Dave, where are you headed? Where's Dave headed?
It would be a couple of words probably to Luke and Leo, before just basically saying, Naomi didn't want to tell us. he does have another weak link, Damien. If you get hold of him, we could probably torture the name out of him. But I've got really important business, which will. Dave needs to go and see Mr. Crowley.
Yeah.
Apologise that he's failed and that they've learned about him. So
Luke is completely on board with that idea. As much as Dave has got his special relationship with Mr. Smith, Luke is going to be like same page. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking too. So
well, Dave, you find a private place where nobody can see you, and Mr. Crowley does appear because you are looking for him. What now?
I'm sorry.
For what? Your existence?
Again, yes, I failed. The kindred, they know about you. They say they've seen you, they've been watching you.
And their eyes didn't burn?
This wasn't someone who saw you, so I cannot confirm. They knew about Cassandra, they knew about the Masons. They knew about the mages. He goes silent and waits his punishment.
I'm looking into your mind. I'll deal with this Naomi, since you couldn't.
Of course.
I'll send her to another plane of existence or something.
She's too mortal. They are her weakness.
Yes. What are you up to now? Killing a warlock, I see.
First, his herald. The pack will feed on him, destroy him, consume him.
You have a powerful tool, Dave. Use your tools. That's what I always tell you. You have a demon. You can use that.
I'll set him free.
Set him free!
They've all moved out. None of them, bar the Tremere, remain. I know what to do.
Capitalize on your moment. Make me proud.
Of course, sir. They will flee before anything else is said.
Good. Is there anything else you want from the scene? Or anything else you want to do?
No, he knows where he's going and he knows what to do.
Leo, straight to Regina or out drinking?
1 second, let me regain my composure after that. Sorry. Leo's not gonna do either of those. He's gonna use his contact to get a hold of some thicker fabrics in the shape of Kevlar and shit, and just start sewing up clothing that does not look protective at all, but are indeed way more resistant to physical forces.
Physical forces or fire retardant?
Let's go fire. Why not?
Fair enough.
There's been a lot of shady shit going on, and a lot of fire. He just got burned earlier in the night, just slightly, but still, Dave was a bit trigger happy with that Molotov.
You can kind of make it look okay, but it sounds weird. And if you do get burned, it will take off the pretty thing. But the outer layer, rather. But you have sewn the fire retardant into the suit and made it a bit thick. It's kind of a mesh kind of suit. It will give you an armor of 2 and help a little bit against fire.
I mean, fashion has been ugly at some point.
Yeah, it's a battle suit, right? It's not meant for social things.
Yeah.
But it does make your heart bleed a little bit looking at it. But practicality over fashion this time.
For once. Just one time.
Anything else?
I don't think he'll go and tell Regina everything that's happened this night, just due to there seeming to be a lot more complications in place.
That's fair enough. I'll jump to Marie then. Where are you going?
So there are a lot of things happening right now. But before checking in ISA and seeing how the Gabriel planning is going, I would like to. Initially, I was thinking of communal heaven, but I want to do this privately for now at least. I would like to hit to my own personal heaven, and this may take a while, but first off, I want to ward the hell out of this letter. I want to put the gold ward, the kindred ward, the everything ward. It's a nuclear explosion touching the thing, basically.
Yeah.
But once that's said, if I remember right, she told me to read it when the time was right, or she told me that I could read it whenever.
I'll give you a list of information that's in that letter.
Perfect.
But
I want to make sure that once I want to use sense to see like really closely to my surroundings. I want to make sure there is no eyes in the room I'm choosing in my heaven. Basically, once I know it's secure, once I make sure the letter is shut and it's not going anywhere, then I'm going to read it safely and take that information with a grain of salt.
I need you to do a sentiency roll, just to resolve.
All right, I'm going to rose my blood with the blood of potency and keeping it up. I really want to make sure it's not going away, so I'm using 2 roses.
It's the difficulty 3, so.
All right, there you go. Perfect. And now resolve plus resolve plus 3. No, actually, yes, plus 3.
Oh.
Fuck! All right, I'm using willpower.
2 messy crits, holy moly.
I'm using willpower 1 dot to revert the Thigo, just the Thigo. I'm not rerolling any more dice, just the Thigo. So it's just 1 dice.
Yeah.
All right, so it went from an 8 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5.
Yeah. And your blood potency was a messy critical, but I'll not force anything on you because you kind of already did the most Tremere thing and you're warding your haven to shit.
Mm-hmm.
But before you get to your house, right on the steps, you're in a scanning mode. You look down an alley and you see a rat, kind of half a meter, obfuscated rat. It sees that you see it, and it does the thing with its paw and points at you, and then it scurries along before you enter.
I hiss at it, but other than that, I get back into the house and make sure now that no one is going to, accompany me on the read of this letter.
Yeah. Well, Ia is helping you in any way she can.
Oh yeah, of course, I'm greeting her first time.
Anything else you want to do before the night ends?
No. I am kind of mentally tired, like that was exhausting. I spent a lot of resources in, keeping this letter safe, in making sure no one knows. But once I know it's safe, once I know everything is all right, I will head back to the communal heaven because, it's the communal heaven. This is just my personal heaven for when I really want to keep things private or when I want to feed sometimes, both of them. So once that's done, I'm going with the rest because we are back after all.
Yes. Luke?
Yes.
Back to Redbridge or something else?
Well, did Nemesis do her black wing thing again?
Oh, just shadow step. But you know where she is. You look close to her.
He's going to shadow step to her. I can make that rouse if you want, but just to keep on par, if she's going to do the powers, he's going to do the powers. So he needs to keep up, and that's how he feels about it. So
just do 1 rouse check. It's fine.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and do that now.
I'm quite liberal with shadow step because I think it's silly if you do a lot of fight power the way it's written. But
So he does that too. Shadow steps right through, just like she does. He's getting very used to traveling that way. He longs for the day when he too can grow bat wings, shadowy bat wings. I think that would be super fucking awesome. But so he's gonna be like, what are we going to do? Like he's frustrated and so disappointed in Naomi. Like that she didn't take the offer. Like he doesn't understand the whole like why would she care and why wouldn't she take this opportunity? So and he also is frustrated on behalf of Nemesis. So it's just like tell and what he's going to do is he's also going to say he's like, Dave had a great idea, and I'm sure you've already thought of it, but I'm also going to say it to you anyway. That obviously, as soon as she tells Victor, which we know she's going to do, he's going to find some way to go right after this missing individual that we don't know about, and we should be looking for them. We know where everybody else is, and we can keep track of their movements. That's what I would do in that situation.
Don't worry, we're gonna count on him setting a trap. We're gonna walk right into it. And you know what will be his downfall?
What will be his downfall?
Arrogance.
Indeed. Yes.
He thinks that he's all powerful, but we are many. And some of us might get a little bit burned. Don't worry, I'm gonna do something to minimize that. But we'll get him into that fucking hole.
Absolutely. Pride goeth, as they say. And so, he's like, I am 100% in.
There are 9 of us, at least.
9, exactly, yeah. There's nothing he can do against 9,
Oh, and he can't kill us without causing a political mess. So, I'm sure the prince is not involved in this.
I mean, the prince wouldn't come right out to save him, would he? Like, it wouldn't cause a total war, would it?
The prince is keen on keeping peace for whatever reason, but I assume
that's what I thought too. Yeah.
He wants as many pieces on his board to move around, I think.
If something unfortunate should happen to this warlock person, who is clearly just crossed every boundary of decorum and good sense, maybe it's better that the prince lets him go, cuts his losses. Obviously it's just he's gone off the reservation, as they say. So it's better just to cut his losses.
We'll figure something out. Go be with Alicia and make sure nothing happens to her, because I wouldn't put it past him to try something.
Of course.
Also during daylight. So.
Well, my haven, thanks to you, is secret enough, and I'll make sure that she's spirited away there as quickly as possible.
I'm just saying they're petty enough to use the police.
Oh, I know they are. And they're just low enough to resort to that sort of behavior. Yeah.
But yeah, go take care of your pet, and we'll reconvene tomorrow. Is there anything I can do for you?
Absolutely not. I am ever at your service.
Oh, before I forget, she hands you a scroll.
Ah.
The wings.
Yes!
Do need to study it, but you do have the potential, and I've seen your power has grown a lot since our little dinner downstairs. So
that's right. I have been working on those powers every opportunity. I do want to.
Do your homework. It's in English, and all you need is a dead corvid bird in your shadows.
Many thanks. Many thanks. And then he's going to insofar as he can, like, shadow step away. Like, he's going all out with that power. So yeah.
Don't need to rouse.
It's gonna fade right into the shadows.
Both of them just fade in each direction.
Exactly.
Although I know you had it seen, but I still want to ask you if there's anything you want to do before the night is over. I know your space is kind of limited, but the Paradise is a big place. And Mr. Doyle can easily show up at the Paradiso.
Oh. Yeah, I do think. I think Mr. Doyle might be, if this is possible. So he would meet up with Mr. Doyle to get his, like, to clear the bodies, you know what I mean? And I think he would go to Mr. Doyle. And if you want, we could do it like a cliffhanger, or we can have the whole conversation. It's up to you. But he's like, I've got a proposition for you. I know this isn't how we usually do things, but I think your skills could be much of use in the near future.
I'm always for hire, especially if it's a friend calling.
I can get you quite a nest egg if you're willing to hear me out.
Always.
I'll keep in touch.
He nods.
And he clears the bodies, and I think he would try to pull whatever strings he has so that perhaps Mr. Doyle could be hired on at the tower as some, like, muscle, maybe like a sniper or some sort of, like, you know, deadly mortal kind of situation at the will of Prince Kairos, if that's what something that Prince Kairos would be willing to fund.
Well, I'm sure his head of security is always looking for capable assassination people that are very good at what they do, like Mr. Doyle.
Yeah, and he would Oliver would make sure to stress, like, he's very good, probably the best. He's kind of, whether or not that's true, like, Oliver's not sure, but he definitely thinks he's probably the best. Like, he's afraid of him, even as an immortal.
Well, you wanted him
Oliver's
to be
afraid of him.
You wanted him to be John Wick, and I made him John Wick. So
yeah, so yeah, even Oliver, the fucking, like, 3 fortitude ass fucking vampire, is like, I'm afraid of this man. I just want you to know. I don't want to fuck with him. All right, I've cleaned up after him. I know what he's capable of.
it's a way of protecting your touchstone, that's for sure. But the person you will be talking to is probably Eric, Prince Kairos, ghoul and head of security, or at least on the mortal side. The sheriff is very much the other one. But we're past 11 here and nearing the end of the session. So unless there are any final comments, I'm gonna close it here and thank everyone for watching.
Just one small detail I forgot to you, Loman. Before leaving my personal heaven, this small basement, I would like to ask Delia something. It's a really small thing, but I would like to write by myself at different level and basically comment her, like, ask her to give it to Isa or whoever, see someone comes here in charge afterwards. Basically, make sure it's not forgotten here. That's everything.
Yep. That's a nice sentiment. Those humanity 7 people.